Good evening, everybody. Hello, welcome to another one of these. I know it's been a while since we've done one of these. I think the last one we actually did do was, good God, Mortal Kombat. Oh, Mando. We did Mando. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm your ringmaster this time around. Your host, Jonesy, and I have my usual colorful characters here, starting with my lovely co-host, Derek Nightingale, aka Dark Neon, and you're live. Uh,
Can we just move on, please?
All right
He,
then.
he's got to introduce us all, babe. I know you want us to stay efficient tonight, but we gotta take the formalities. This could be someone's first time watching.
And that's our other wonderful guest right over here. We have Snakebite, aka Jen, and
Hello.
as our final host, we have my good friend Werewolf River, aka Ian. And yes, as you can see over here, I decided to represent us as some colorful characters from this colorful series we're going to be talking about tonight. That, of course, would be a little indie series called The Amazing Digital Circus, which started 3 years ago, but that's quite surprising to me that that much time has passed, and the pilot came out and it ended up becoming quite the sensation. I mean, you see its materials everywhere in pop culture shops, game stops, all the like the point is this is something quite small that's ballooned rather rapidly.
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
By the
So
way, by the way, my sassy, snarky comments was supposed to be in character.
yeah,
I
I
know.
I got that, and I'm sure, but so oh
In a
yes.
way, so were mine.
But yeah, it was so funny. So I decided to, we've always done like thumbnails with the characters dressed up. I decided to go ahead and go the extra mile and make us digital circus style. So why the hell is this not working for me? Oh yeah, sorry. So yeah, so I decided to represent my dear friend here as Jax, just because that's a character. I mean, for what she told me, Pomni's actually her favorite character, but we figured due to how the character played out and revelations made after the show, I mean, let's
That's
just.
not that's not what I said. I said Pomni's my favorite person in the group, but as far as characters go, Jax is my favorite.
Well, yeah, I mean,
There's a
he's.
Yeah.
huge stipulation difference.
Yes, okay, my mistake, my mistake. But yeah, Jax, she even has a little Jax merch right there. Is that from the official Glitch store?
I literally just got it from Walmart.
Oh,
It's really just adorable little son of a bitch.
She
yeah.
likes to strangle him
Well,
or her or
he,
or dang.
Does Jax do
It's
the
fucking durable enough to just squeeze and stretch.
Does Jax do? It'd be funny if they made a plush where if you squeeze Jax's neck, the face deforms into that little toothy face it makes when he gets throttled by people.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, and so now at Derica's suggestion, Jen here is depicted here as Kinger, because as I understand, when they went to go see the Amazing Digital Circus last act in theaters, Jen actually took their Kinger plush. Oh, there it is, right there.
Yes, I did. It's right here. He is still holding my ticket. I'm going
Oh,
to
that
put
is
him down here
precious.
because holding him the whole time. Kinger is my favorite character, or at least he was before the pilot really sold me on Jax. I think Kinger is still my favorite. Kinger is the best dad.
Uh, ask your dear. Ask Erica just how many times I've been saying dad energy every damn time Kinger was on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
And of course, I chose to represent here as Gangle because that was their character recommendation. And I was gonna do a typical Gangle, but with like a few superficial features added. But then your text tone is King Ghidorah's sound. So I heard the King Ghidorah, and an inspiration just hit like gravity beams in my head, and I threw that together. It's Gangle with the three different masks. There's the happy comedy mask, tragedy mask, and the manic mask. Which you probably noticed the placement of where the manic mask was.
Yeah, final head.
Yeah,
that was
it's the meme.
The Kevin head.
Yeah. Oh, Kevin.
Yeah, San.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway,
Derp.
now what's funny enough is that I think out of the four of us here, I was the fool that was the last one on the train.
Yeah, you didn't get into it till it ended. fine. I didn't get into it till like it was about to end, till like the second to last episode was about to air. And I remember that because I actually had watched what they had available on Netflix, which went to like episode 7, and I genuinely thought episode 7 was the last episode of the show, and I was like, what the hell is this, you know? And then I looked up, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm an idiot.
That would be a shit ending to a series, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
here's a lovely fruit
I
basket. Bye.
believe it or not, I actually had basically the same experience. I had been avoiding Digital Circus because the first time I had ever heard of it was because like a bunch of random YouTube channels were like content farms were making
Oh
flop content
no.
about it. And it was
Oh
just like
no.
my mind, things that get flop content made about them are generally not the best. And so I was like, oh, I should probably avoid this, especially with how it looked. And it wasn't until another one of Derica and I's close friends who has given me permission to mention her on here, her screen name Milky Lamia.
Beautiful.
I mentioned her a couple times before.
Yes.
He really wanted to watch the show with us. And so that got me to see the whole thing. It let me give it a chance and I ended up really vibing with it. I actually don't think I would have vibed with it at all if it hadn't been for the episode for them starting to make Kinger more of the character that he is.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, and like maybe if the whole thing had been out and I got to the end with the stuff with Jack, which we can talk about more in a bit, maybe that would have won me over. But like it was Kinger that made me like the show. And every time I watched another episode, I was like, "Oh, are they gonna show more about Kinger? Is he gonna get better? I don't know. I was watching for Kinger.
Were you biting your fingers at any point wondering if he would ever abstract?
I figured Kinger was probably safe because like he kind of already is abstracted, just
Mm-hmm.
not as like what's wrong with his brain is clearly like abstraction light.
But yeah.
And so like I kind of figured and he's been in there the longest compared to everyone else. And so if he's been here that long and hasn't abstracted and is kind of like this, I thought he was safe. Basically, he and Pomni, I think, were the only characters that I was pretty sure weren't gonna abstract.
And then
Uh,
okay, and
And
Jubal was
me, I I believe I was there from the get-go because YouTube decides to recommend me because I like animation. I saw this new thing that's popped up. It's like, oh, okay, this is weird. I just watched it, sat down, and was like, oh my god, this thing is actually really good. Think I remember it was like some friends in our old server group that I used to be in before I left that shared around. And we're just all about us talking about it. Everything with Megan,
I believe
Charles
so.
and Monkeys. She was definitely uh into. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I gotta give this a look. And I watched it. I go, oh, oh, it's gonna be one of those shows, is it?
Full
yeah,
disclosure, the I know we've tried for years to get her on one of these things, but if Megan had said yes to this, I would have put her as Pomni, no doubt.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
Oh yeah, but anyway,
you
so
got
But
the only
right,
option.
but
You
currently
gotta be
she's
careful.
on her currently she's on a lycanthropy kick, so it would probably be a danger to all of us if she's turned during this podcast.
well
Anyways,
Yeah,
at least the moon can tell her that she loves her, and I'll tell her I didn't program you to say that.
yeah,
But yeah, I had actually seen clips of the thing before, but okay, I saw the little thing. But when I told you I was kind of blind to the series, I wasn't entirely. That's not entirely accurate. To quote the Secretary of Defense from Independence Day, which turned 30 this year. Good God, where's time going for me? But I had seen the Spudsies episode, the fast food masquerade, and oh, good. I am a former McDonald's worker, and finding out that the creator of the show Gooseworks at one point worked in fast food and had similar experiences, I saw a lot of what I went through going through. Heck, even the uniforms were down. Like when I went, the uniforms were all black like that with the logo of the thing, and the managers wore the blue T-shirts like Gangle did in that one. So I'm just going. I was like at home with that episode the most. Then I kind of went back and
yeah.
when I heard the last act was coming out, I kept toying, should I just go back and watch the whole thing in one marathon to go? I planned to do that with Dee, and she ended up doing that with you as a head because you guys actually had tickets to go and check out the thing, which
yeah.
I heard it was a
Yeah,
very special night. That was very, very nice. I believe.
It
it
was
was.
incredible. We had huge audience that reacted. I think they reacted at least big at like two certain moments, I believe, and then of course they all applauded when the credits rolled, as anyone should be when you like stuck it out to want to get a ticket to see something you would see for free 2 weeks later. We're just like dying to know what the hell is gonna even happen to these freaks and weirdos that we're just like, okay, fine, here's a ticket stub, here's my money, just shut up and let me see what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, and on top of that, I believe also saw the Digital Circus last act. I think when we were going to go check out a movie at the same time too. You were there before us to check it out, and then we went
Yeah,
to go see Masters of the Universe. I think
yeah. Everyone else, other people did Barbenheimer. I did Amazing Digital Snake Mountain.
that's
Uh,
amazing.
yeah, I went with I went with my mom to see Amazing Digital Circus because I was curious just like everyone else. My mom had never even heard of Amazing Digital Circus. I first found out about Amazing Digital Circus because of an artist I follow on Instagram. Her name is, I think it's Brenny Murasaki, and she does art of these characters. And she did so much
Mhm.
that I was like, okay, I maybe might as well check this out. Hey, where can I watch this? And then I just started watching the show, and I was like, okay, this is pretty interesting. And yeah, I actually convinced my mom to watch the whole show, literally like within one night, and then she told me she loved it. And then the next day we
Oh,
went to go see it, and she was
Mhm.
crying a lot during it, which
wow.
is nice. I mean, mom's a very, yeah, she's a very compassionate person, and weirdly, the thing that kind of convinced me she'd like it was the fact that she likes David Lynch, and I don't know why. I just weirdly had this thing. I'm like, if you like Lynch, I have to imagine there's room to like Amazing Digital
It
Circus
is
quite a
very
bit.
Lynchian. I can see that in a lot of some things. I mean,
Yeah,
I think Lynch would have a mannequin guy who would come in to say a single sentence before blipping out of existence every time.
yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
But oh yeah, so like I says, yeah, we all found different ways of hopping into it. I ended up getting into it because the last act had just come out on YouTube. I was seeing a lot of chats just filled to the brim with bricks upon bricks, and pardon the phrasing, it looked a lot like the Epstein files with how much was blacked out. And yeah,
Jeez.
and yeah, pardon, current day joke, but yeah, I was thinking like, and I keep seeing things slip through the cracks, and I keep seeing YouTube saying, "What does this mean? Why this character was redeemed?" And and I kept going like, I told her like I can wait a few days, and she even told me, "That's it. I'm gonna get you started." Just it was a Pomni comic I'd commissioned where the character in the universe said, "I guess I better finally jump on it." And she, wait. You mean you've never hopped in? And he said, "That's it." She was literally Kane grabbing me by the collar and saying, "We're going, we're going on an adventure today." And
Yeah,
and it,
I had to resolve this situation. This is just an absolute, especially considering the fact that the last act showing was trouncing the fucking Star Wars movie, and it was like I think it was just toe and tone a little bit with Obsession, but I think there was a lot more drive to it because there's that 2 week window before it would get back out to YouTube and Netflix.
yeah, I mean, it's not,
But
it's
even
not
those
a.
2 weeks, it was still pretty insane that there's so many people that reacted to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say that it's a big deal that Glitch was able to
It
get. Because I
was
mean,
it was just it was honestly got so good. I actually wanted to actually find another showtime to go see it again, but I didn't.
Aw.
So that's
Yeah.
but yeah, like it's a big.
I couldn't go see it again without Jen. So that's there. That's that.
It's been a big year for
Aw.
indie YouTubers this year. I mean, from Iron Lung kicking off things in January to guys like who made the Backrooms and Obsession having their starts on YouTube. Heck, even one of my favorite movies from last year had a guy who started making YouTube shorts with Portal, going on to make one of my favorite things ever, Predator Badlands. Mhm.
I'm hoping that
Well, he didn't just make that. He's basically been saving Predators franchise's
Since
ass
Prey, yeah.
for a good couple of years.
But I remember when I saw YouTube and I went, Dan Trachtenberg. Like, well, that Dan Trachtenberg? And people in the comments are saying, yes, that Dan Trachtenberg. And I go, holy crap, humble beginnings. So, yeah, but we should
I'm
probably go. Oh, go on.
sorry. I wanted to say one thing before we get move on to the thing. Is just I just hope all this successive YouTube content moving into these traditional spaces without. Uh, it gives me hope for one of my favorite long term. One of the internet things that I've been following for the longest time. I've been a fan of Good Mythical Morning and Rhett and Link, and they've been trying to break into the traditional media space for forever. And like just today, they announced that Good Mythical Morning episodes will start being simultaneously uploaded to both YouTube and Netflix starting in
Wow.
September. And I'm really hoping that they just both saw the success of Digital Circus and Iron Lung and are just like, I literally am just imagining them storming into the offices at Netflix, holding up a Digital Circus logo and saying, "We want this, please,"
That's very good. So speaking,
because they've been trying for decades to try to get the funding to do some of the bigger ideas that they've had, and nothing has worked because the internet just wants to see them eat stupid food.
so we should probably go back and talk about the fact that this is an indie project that got pretty big and successful. Glitch is an indie
Oh
studio.
yeah,
Contrary to what people would say nowadays, like they're not indie anymore, they are still outside of the system and managed to make shows that normally wouldn't get picked up by traditional outlets suddenly find a huge audience. I mean, Murder Drones, the Knights of Guinevere, I believe, is the other another Glitch production. And
yeah, they are.
most recently
Y-
Gameoverse, which has really gotten a lot of steam to the point where it already had parodies trying to kick the piss out of it, which ended up backfiring intensely with Timtopia.
yeah.
Yeah, but point is
It's probably going to be the like let's get my pilot made.
mhm. But
Although I don't know if my show will fit the glitch mold. I don't know if I can do what I want in just 8 episodes.
and then the thing with Glitch is I remember SMG4 starting off as just a stupid Mario 64 machinima and just doing all these random crappy random jokes. I mean that tickled my funny bone. So to see them actually make an actual studio that's making product that you can now buy at a Walmart, as evidenced by the Jacks there, it's mind-boggling to a creative like me in a good way. And this comes from someone who's been in the creative space for a while now, known by the name of Gooseworks, who we were surprised when we look back at DeviantArt and go, "That Goose works," and we even look at older pieces under a different account and realize, who would have thought that this person I saw in a comic would one day go on to make something that would impact a lot of people, for better or for worse. I mean, that's just
This one
amazing.
doesn't like talking about her older.
Right, right. But the yeah,
Just
the
saying.
I like to say they
It's just so sad that it's just so sad that fandom burnt her out because I would definitely line up to have the the bug cartoon she has with the girl
oh,
turning into a punch bug.
oh yeah, Punch Buggy, the Volkswagen Beetle that wanted to be called Blue Beetle because she didn't realize that Blue Beetle Ted Korg existed.
Yeah.
Whose mother was a
Yeah.
superhero, but she was cursed by a wizard to just spontaneously turn into a Volkswagen Beetle in like a big poof. And I could totally see if someone with the mind to actually have like dynamic action scenes of like car running over, poof back into hero form, kind of slide under, once again, poof. Like someone with dynamic vision in a 2D animation space can probably make that thing work. And people say, yeah, like I know people are going to say, yeah, Turbo Teen failed back in the 80s. Yeah, well, that one was Knight Rider meets Transformers meets American Werewolf in London. So of course you're going to not find an audience with that. But
Yeah.
yeah. But point is though, like there's a lot of creatives, and they like taking the piss out of people with their blog posts and their comments and their pictures. Like before the Tumblr unceremoniously mysteriously disappeared, there was that funny one about if Jax went on the good ending, and I was reading it. Oh, this is very wholesome. Then it took a turn in the bubbles, and I actually did the Miss George Takei, Mr. Sulu, Zach and Cody joke of, oh my. And you know the post I'm talking about.
I actually
Yeah.
don't.
No,
Send
I
it to
don't
me.
either. But I just know the meme. Just no.
Okay.
No, but I know the post that you show me
And that's
a
that's forever
Femjax.
lost media now. So that's
Yeah.
it's.
Yeah, that's a shame. But anyway,
Anyways, let's just get. We should talk about the cast of characters because if we were just to sit down, and guess all our adventures, it would make no damn sense unless you even understood where all these six, well, technically seven in a bubble stand at. But
on top of that, it helps
Technically,
if it, because
not.
if you look at the show on its own, you think, okay, zany reboot style, comedy hijinks, but there's like a level of existential dread and horror layered underneath, but it's not in your face about it. It's not like, oh, this is a cute thing, and it turns dark and evil all of a sudden. It's just there's
Until you get to episode 3, then it does that, like, straight up to your face.
well, that was the joke. As
Actually,
oh, go on.
I think if you only saw the first episode, which obviously for a long time was true, you'd think that the whole thing would have ended up being more scary than it was, just because of the way the first episode definitely felt like it was trying to be at least a little bit like of existential and psychological horror, and that kind of fizzled out.
And then we do Mad Max in the next one, and Willy Wonka Land.
Mad Max mixed with Willy Wonka. Yeah.
I was gonna say it's Mad Max mixed with Sugar Rush from Wreck-It
Yeah.
Ralph.
And then, but you still get
Yeah.
your existential horror when the poor NPC Gummy Goo ends up looking at seeing his models on the thing, and then you feel for the guy. You're like, geez, it's like I just met this guy. I'm already feeling like I want to give him a hug when he realizes his whole existence is not what he thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Then
then
we
he
pop out of
dies.
existence. Like
Uh-huh.
it's no big deal.
Yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. See, can't have you guys running around here. And it's funny.
Well,
They made a collection of like different YouTubers who don't know, and people asking, "No way, is he like gone for the rest of the series?" That's probably like it's that'd be a fun trick to pull on someone you're introducing the show to. Oh, you're gonna love Gummigoo. He's gonna become an integral cast member, and see people's reactions when Kane decides to pop him out of existence. He does technically reappear, but is it really
Yeah,
the
but
same?
memories are
it's kind of like a Groot situation. It's like it's a
Yeah.
character, but it's not the same one.
Yeah. Anyway,
Well, and I will say, technically, the finale is at least a little bit open-ended about it. The possibility, I feel like the finale is open-ended in a lot of possibilities. We can talk about that later, though.
Okay, so basic premise is, of course, that we open up with Pomni, a Jester girl who wakes up after putting on a weird headset, as she puts it, and having no memory of where she came from, meeting this zany place called the Digital Circus, populated by colorful characters and run by a ringmaster named Kane, who is a sentient AI who's a little too eager to try to go live up to his purpose of putting people on adventures they enjoy. So, and if people say this kind of a little familiar, it does have some basis in that famous Harlan Ellison story, "I have no mouth, but I must scream," which they even make a few references in the "Who's Running the Show" song. I actually laughed when that happened. I went, like, that's an overt reference. Yeah, but like it says, yeah. So, but unlike that machine where he's absolutely made of collective paranoia, making him hate, hate, hate. Kane appears. We find out later is actually meant to be a creator. He's he's like those of us who want to make and create stuff and want to hear people's input can probably relate to him, but because he's not human, he doesn't really have empathy to understand some of the stuff he puts him through is just unpleasant for some people, like going to a place where human meat's all over the wall and it's very sticky and smelly.
yeah.
He
I
only
know,
does it because he's trying to appease to everyone because a certain someone, Zubul, is staying out of it. And you think like, okay, they don't like this candy coated kitty stuff. Let's try a little bit with more teeth, like a spooky adventure. Choose your own adventure, spooky adventure. Okay, they sat at it again. Okay, maybe I should really go hard. And even Zubul was like, why did you think I would be into that?
And even funnier,
Yeah.
okay, that episode does have one of my most favorite jokes, and she laughs every time, and it makes me laugh every time I see it. Where there's like a corpse with a shotgun, and she's all like, "Please don't come to life," and all right, I won't. And,
I won't.
and we're like, and I quoted John Tron specifically like that. Monster Party, I think it was called, when you went into the boss, and the boss is like, "Sorry, I'm dead." Okay, wait, what? But yeah, I mean,
Oh God. Okay.
the humor is dark, but also funny because there's something to be had in like, I mean, one of the best dark humor characters I laugh at every time they appear is Bubble, voiced by Gooseworks themselves. But it's this stuff where even you're questioning, like, what do you mean by that? Like when they say, "Here's a precious dinner made by Bubble, made with all the love I'm legally allowed to give him." I'm like, at first I thought nothing of it, but then I thought and went, wait, what do they mean by that? and it Bubble even unsettles Kane from time to time, like the part when Pomni puked and they clean up on all three. Like,
Like
I got it.
speaking backwards about like, oh, I can't wait to see the horror of the children's faces when they see the monster.
What? and then
Why can you swear?
What?
and then the part
Why can you swear?
or the part when Bubble was cleaning up the puke and he goes, "Why are you like this?" and then
Parasite.
yeah, and then the part I love too is
You
the
should die. You should love fucking beast party.
and then and then the whole bit
Why
with
are you sad now?
and then you know we like I can't have no adventures without any conflict drama, not to mention the sex appeal. And what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Well, but like I said though, I mean, something that seems a little aimless like this would be seen like how can that be made for a compelling show? What's made compelling is the fact that these characters say they're human, that they are human, and they're feeling like there's got to be way beyond this, other than being at the torturous whims of a mad AI. And that's what. But you're compelled with the mystery, and the funny thing about this show is that it probably saw theory crafting and mystery box stuff as like window dressing versus the meat of it. So I'm sure the people who ended
Like,
up walking away disappointed probably were too into their own heads about where this was going and theories and stuff like that.
oh yeah, I feel like a lot of the people who are upset with this were expecting it to answer all the questions, which I also think is why people are mad that a lot of the answers, the definitive answers, were given on Gooseworks' Tumblr, which has now been destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, a lot of those answers have been preserved. I'm a
Right.
little bit mad over one of them because, like, one of
Yeah.
them in particular, I'm like, part of like, should I just talk about this now or should I wait? Like, what order do we want to do?
Oh, well, maybe when we talk about characters, where they started, where they end up, would be the best way. So we could probably start with the ones who were rather
Well,
minimalist.
mine's more about story in general, but like, yeah, okay, we can wait until then.
Okay, well, so we got them.
I
So,
suppose we should bring up the one that's been there for the longest so far, Kinger.
Yes,
It's just this chess piece with disjointed eyes, the nice lush king cape, and well, as everyone seems to point out, he's the crazy one.
I really
yeah.
don't.
Which,
Unless
looking back, he's not really crazy. He's just more
He's spaced out.
scatterbrained. Like he's spaced out. He's on the right track. He's like a few blocks around the corner.
yeah.
I do love that joke, that
Like I
running
said, I
joke
don't know.
of. Oh, go on.
I don't know if we were on recording when I said this or not, but it definitely feels like Pinger didn't. Because for those who don't know, characters, if you're in the circus too long and you let your mind go, for a number of reasons, you can abstract, which is basically a mix of death and a psychotic break in this universe where you turn into like a weird glitchy monster. And a lot of characters who have been in the circus for as long, if longer than Kinger, uh, have abstracted. And Kinger, it feels like he's not physically abstracted, but his mind kind of is, which is also interesting because he gets his sanity back in the dark, just like how the abstractions calm down in the dark.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I remember being surprised at how in depth of a character he was when I saw him in episode 3, the Manor, because that those moments where he gets to sit down and talk lucidly to Pomni, you go like, that's when I felt. We watched that episode on Father's Day, so I said he has big dad energy, and she's like, oh, you have no idea.
Oh yeah.
but his but his zaniness does come across like the one gag I love is the whole "Where's Kinger?" It's like, I'm right here, and he.
Where's Kinger?
But yeah, yeah, the thing about his design is that they kind of got a Rayman thing going on with him, where he's a chess piece, but he's got the googly eyes, and he's got these disembodied hands.
With his hands. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's why they're attached to, they're sewn to his chest on my plushie.
Yeah.
And he's making like little pointy fingers.
Oh,
He almost has the energy of like that little paper clip that used to come up.
oh
whenever you were, like,
yeah, he does feel like Clippy. But yeah, but I ended up
I'm pretty sure that's probably what he
Needs them
would
out.
have turned into, but given Clippy comes years after, and the circus gets set up, I think in late 90s, I believe is
Mm-hmm.
what
Yeah.
has kind of been kind of confirmed. Then yeah, Kinger kind of predates Clippy.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's the same fucking energy
Could be
though.
ripped him off. Could be ripped him-
So around the
Uh,
table, uh,
Oh god,
s-
now I can't
Clippy was
unsee it now.
Yeah.
Office 97.
yeah, Clippy started in '97, so maybe he would be in that same era.
Oh,
Yeah.
But he became more
really?
prominent in
I haven't
2000s
seen
and
Clippy
stuff.
until like mid 2000s.
Yeah, XP
Yeah,
really
no,
had him pushed on you. Boink boink.
Yeah.
So I'll start with you, Jen.
Okay.
Your thoughts on Kinger overall, like where he started and where he ended up. Like, what did you feel? Like, what were your theory? Did you have any theories about him when you first met him, and then were you piecing things along with him, or you just kind of what?
I don't know how I thought about him was theories or how much of it was just me understanding and correctly interpreting the foreshadowing the show was doing. Like, I feel like a lot of the stuff that I ended up predicting, not just about Kinger, but about the show kind of in general, ended up being right. And I don't know if that's like, oh, I'm such a brilliant theorist, or if I was just I'm media literate enough to understand when a show is trying to set something up. Because, like, yeah, I figured that Kinger, since he's the only one who he seems to know more than he's capable of, especially when he makes that gun. I figured to have been involved in the programming side, and I figured that there's probably a way to get him to a more lucid state more regularly. I didn't expect it to be him having a bucket on his head, but like that's kind of a superfluous detail compared to like I like where Kinger ended up. I didn't have any big theories about him. I think, and that's the thing. Like I don't like all my theories just kind of ended up being like, were they theories or was I just correctly reading the foreshadowing? I don't know.
Well, yeah, you are steeped in this kind of like media storytelling, whether it be through comics or games, that kind of stuff. So when you see certain like things resonate, you can kind of key in on it versus you trying to predict or guess for it. You're kind of letting it present itself to you, and you're like seeing, okay, what are you showing me? And sometimes it's a misdirect. Sometimes some shows out of nowhere just bang you over the head to say, "Ha, you're wrong." But this felt like, it was as Kane himself put it, the context clues are all right there. What are you, stupid?
Yeah.
But you got it. So, what made you gravitate toward him as a character in terms of, I mean, I know all of them have something, but what's the primary thing that made you feel like this guy?
Oh, just he's a very wholesome, very dad energy character. And that literally is that and also like he felt like the character who had the most to do with what was going on in the background. It felt like he was the character who whenever and even that like and it's not just that, like yes it was partly the like lore, the like theory, like oh, he probably has something to do with the backstory of this place. So when we're focusing on Kinger, we're learning more about the overall narrative. But it
Hmm.
also just kind of felt like when Kinger was around, it brought out the introspection in a lot of other characters. And then after Pomni had her session with Kinger, she kind of also gained that ability.
Oh, we're
But
doing one of these.
and yeah, so it's like yeah, it's he's just very wholesome. He's very silly. I ended up liking his like kind of I definitely relate to his like kind of just like random quips. It definitely feels like what it's like to have my particular cocktail of autism and ADHD, where it's just like your brain is thinking about a billion things so quickly all at once. So it sounds like 1 minute you're talking about how your day went, and then the next minute you're like, you know, Optimus Prime is red. In
Uh,
your head, that there's a
What?
train of thought between those. That was just me thinking of something random. But in like in your head there was like logical context that took you from one to the other. But it all happened in your head faster than you could communicate
right.
it to other people. So it's just random and disconnected to everyone else. And it's just like I relate to that with Kinger.
Oh, that's
Not as
sweet.
much as I relate to something else.
Hmm.
Uh, when we get to another particular character, but we'll get to that character when we get to that character.
And we'll talk about that character too, but I think Kinger is also a nice dichotomy that he's actually in a world of a mad god and a bully. We have a positive masculine role, like a guy he's not the rough and tumble guy, but then you still get a protective state and intervene. Like when he had the shotgun in front of Pomni and that place where they could get possessed, I'm like, you got that. This is a positive, portrayal of a masculine character. That's the single dad type vibe, like that kind of thing. That in a world where we're seeing a lot of people say, oh, they're turning on traditional masculine role characters, I think Kinger kind of fills that role when you think about it, without being too on the nose about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Yeah.
Derica, your thoughts on old Kingy, the old chess piece?
He's kooky, he's crazy, but he's cute.
Oh, that's cute, definitely.
Just put a bucket on his head, and he's like the sweet serene papa. But God, does he really need to have a bucket on his head like 24/7? It's like, if you're a king, man, like kings don't need to wear freaking buckets on their heads.
Although it does, I mean, it
Like
yeah,
at a point in the at a point in the finale, it just felt like, dude, are you sure you're kind of comfortable under that helmet bucket? Maybe you need like, I don't know, can't you just manifest like an umbrella over your head to just kind of give your
Maybe it needs to be like pure dark.
head still
Yeah.
in the shade?
or he could have spawn a dark helmet style helmet on this piece and become a very top heavy chess piece.
Yeah.
What
What the hell am I
that's
looking
what will
at?
happen in my
Yeah.
evil circus continuation.
What the hell am I looking at? This is now. Right now. Okay, yeah. Anyway, Spaceballs 2, a new one coming soon. Okay. And Ian, any thoughts on
Yep.
Kinger you want? Oh,
Yep.
I agree. You know, he's a very positive masculine role model, and he's a sweet single dad type. You know, that just it's hard to hate. You know, it's funny because I remember there was actually an alternate, like it wasn't an alternate ending at the time the show hadn't ended, and I ended up on Twitter or no, not Twitter, TikTok, and someone actually did put together like a hypothetical end for the show, and I remember it was kind of weird because they didn't show up, but they implied that like Kinger was the bad guy somehow in this version.
like, good God.
I didn't see how that happened, but they just were like, "Oh, we're gonna escape Kinger," you know, like that was the ending they were.
And you're like,
proposing.
what?
What the fuck?
Oh,
But
do
even
you?
I didn't. Figure that. I
And
did wonder if they were gonna reveal something about Kinger because of the one episode with Abel, where
yes,
I think there's a part where like they're saying something. I don't remember what they're saying about Kinger, but they have Abel say, "Yes, he has a lot of power when he uses them responsibly." And I was curious, like, "Oh, are we gonna learn something about Kinger?" But I guess that was just Kane like trying to fuck with him or something like that.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, either way, you know, I was sort of expecting to learn something, but you know, fine, it's not a big deal. But you know, it's hard. It's hard to hate Kinger. You know, that's all I have to say. You know,
Now,
have to know what
here's a
it's
stupid question. I think part of what does the heavy lifting is his voice. Now, imagine if he had a voice like Lance Henriksen's Bishop, just to be a little on the nose. Would it still work, you think?
Yeah, yeah, it would.
Oh, yeah, but
I
then
agree.
again,
Am I the only one
What's funny, I actually wondered
not
if
like the
Abel.
guidance counselor from Bob's Burgers?
Shush.
Yeah.
huh?
Funny thing about Abel, I actually thought he was voiced by Jonathan Price when I first heard him because it sounded like Jonathan Price with an American accent. And I looked it up, and no, I guess not. You know, unless Jonathan Price is using an alias or something.
Oh, Dee, you had one more thought about Kinger, it sounded like?
No, I was just making sure Jen got to say her thing.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Okay.
Mm.
All right, so Kinger. Now, who's next on our list of? Wait, the one who probably popped in next, and probably a character that, if I wasn't gonna draw myself as Kane, it would have been this character. A little throwback to Gooseworks Raggedy Ann days. Ragatha.
I get that. I considered him that too.
Yeah, very apologetic, very super, almost toxically nice. Toxic would imply that it's bad, but she's just
To her
a hell
detriment,
of a
yeah.
lot of baggage to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Point is, she's nice. Ragala.
Ragatha's good, but I don't know what to say.
But yeah,
Agatha is a very.
I didn't want anything to bad happen to her, but at the same time, I wasn't really compelled entirely with her. I just knew she at least had people she could latch on to, just not feel like she has to put on that apologetic facade on too much.
Yeah.
All right,
Like
so
it's like the more able-headed Kinger and Pomni to a certain degree.
mhm. Yeah, I think, but yeah, Ragatha was interesting because again, she had definitely most interesting design when I first saw the pilot, and I oh wow, and I know that I think people might say, oh, she's way too nice, way too apologetic. That people are expecting, oh, we're gonna get a snap episode. We get to see what she's actually like. But no, it turns out that there are people who are like that where they're okay, for lack of a better term, they're doormats. I mean, I think you would argue that of another character, but I think Ragatha fits that probably more given how she is just doing her best not to lose anybody. So she tries to be very agreeable and appeasable without realizing she can do some backhanded stuff, like not meaning to, like. And I,
Yeah.
I, I guess I can kind of relate on that front. That's why I was like, oh, okay. I did think that she gave a very wonderful performance at the very end of the last act when she finally reveals what's been eating everybody at that point. And you can't help but feel for her when she delivers. And then when they give that hug to Pomni at the end, where it's like, it kind of feels like, in a weird way, the roles were reversed from how when we first met them. Like, Pomni was the very scared, I don't know what's going to happen, and Riot trying to be like, okay, we're going to be fine, and kind of be reassuring. And then at the very, very end, when everything's gone to pot, you got Ragatha being super, like, just a nervous wreck mess, and Pomni is the one to be like, okay, it's going to be fine. So I
Yeah.
think she does service
Yes, he
Pomni's
was.
arc.
Yeah.
Jen, thoughts on all on Ragatha design wise or character wise or something like that? Mhm.
Like she's good. She's good. I don't have much to say about her. I feel like that would hurt her feelings. I think some of the stuff about her is cute.
Oh
I
yeah,
like how her real counterpart actually has a horse. Wait, was she the one with the horse named Daisy Bell, or is that Subal?
it was Ragatha.
Yeah, she had the
Okay,
whole.
yeah.
She was all about the
But
horses.
yeah, like what we learned about her real life in the finale, and also some of the hints, it makes sense. But also, she just always felt kind of. She's just kind of there, and I
Although
wish there could be more for.
I think
I
we
know a
could.
lot of people
Although
are
she
shipping
was,
her with me
she,
now, but like,
she was definitely also the one that got a lot of damage put on her, but that was pretty much Gooseworks' way of getting around and say, "Hey, I could be fine with her. All she look like she's like a puff of like dust balls, like
Like her
this."
like her head explodes in one episode. I go like, oh.
No, like, her head explodes in a bunch of episodes.
Yeah, but yeah. On top of that, it was so funny when we get to see a little bit of what she probably actually is like when she was under the influence of the stupid juice. Acting, we all have that one employee at work who shows up high, and you're like, why are you?
Yeah. I really like this. What the fuck? Trying to call
yeah,
stuff
Yeah,
like that.
you're kind of annoying when you have your happy mask on. Oh, was that mean to say?
Yeah. I
But
don't like you, but I don't want you to dislike me.
oh, and then
That's weird.
although I think what's funny, I think we can all agree that Ragatha basic, okay, fine, we like her. Evil Ragatha, now I want to see more of what that's on. The evil counterpart we saw during the bad
So
big
rad.
tops,
Yeah.
Eh,
Yeah.
and she had that little
Or
oh
actually,
ho ho attitude.
yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
Hmm.
Also, funny enough, if you actually you never realize it in the finale during the montage when she gets to have her softball amateur have a second chance. She got adopted by the Gloat Queen and all the Gloat, so that's really her family right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
so yeah,
It's probably it's stated that when she was in her stupor sauce state, she had realized like, wait, you named all all your Glinks, and the Gloat Queen is like, well, of course, I love and cherish every single child I've ever carried. It's like that's fucking beautiful, man.
on top of
And
that,
at some point, she probably must have just like spilled her guts out to the Gloin Queen, and the Gloin Queen is like, "Yeah, but I adopted you. You are one of the Gloins now."
Yeah.
Hey, Ian. Ragatha and the Glint Queen is Ripley and the Alien Queen gone right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see it.
Oh,
But I'm not just saying that because tonight is the Aliens 40th anniversary, and that's why I'm sporting this shirt. But yeah. Anyway, I think a thing about her too. I just thought about right now with Ragatha is the fact that if Kinger is the dad energy, she's the big sister who has to be a mom, but clearly isn't over her head. I think that's a good way to describe her.
Oh, so she's basically
Thanks for
fucking
that.
Nani.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! Huh.
basic.
You gave me an art idea and I hate it. I love it, but anyway,
I don't think
okay.
Ragatha has size thick.
Hmm. Well, she did wear the swimsuit pretty well for the beach episode. Oh god, I have ask them. I love repeatedly quoting bits from that opening bit. Okay, who was next to pop into the circus after
It's like
Ragatha?
I guess next. It was well, it was like
If we're
I
talking about the main
there's
cast,
one in particular, but I think we need to say. I think he's right here. No, right. We'll save him for last.
You got it. Yeah, yeah.
We'll just
I
move on to
agree.
Gangle.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, Gangle. Now that was the one that kind of hooked me into the show as well, just because I love the idea that she has the whole mask thing, and she's what makes me laugh is that she is they reveal that she's an anime artist, manga artist, and I'm just going. Obviously, that's like a big okay. I totally can relate to that, and I laughed so hard during the training vid where she mentions you might want to start your own production company, make your own little web comic. But those are also
And it's totally
unrealistic.
hatcheries. You also have to understand that they're totally realistic.
Hmm.
Oh my
Now,
god.
first things first. You happy?
Like, not
Why
really.
not?
Yeah, that little why not?
why not?
Now I'm sure for a fact.
No one can see this, right?
Now I know for a fact. I'm pretty sure Ian probably hollered his head off when the training re-education happened and they started to play a certain binaural beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was telling Derek, I was all, stop the broadcast, stop it from the ending of Halloween 3.
Halloween.
So I
You
love that.
understand?
Yeah.
I love that Gooseworks was clearly like there were a few times where I was just Captain America the entire time. I understood that reference. But oh yeah, but like I said, Gangle, like I said, some people now Gangle's probably the one character people probably have a big thing with, mostly because of her relation to another character by proxy. So it's like,
Well, movie.
well, yeah, I mean, the Zooble stuff's the positive. I'm talking about,
I think the Covey shipping their Google.
and I saw someone make a
Yeah.
joke where they made a kid for them and they named the kid Google.
Oh no.
But I think it took a while for the joke to click. But yeah, so the thing with
That
like
Oh God,
adds gaming.
now for some people, they're probably going like,
no.
okay, is she just there to be the crying one? Is she there just to be the punching bag for some of the other characters? I think some people were kind of maybe expecting her to go to an arc where she would like grow a spine or something, but kind of hard to do that when you're literally made out of ribbons. And
Yeah, no.
more
Nichols' arc is a love story.
yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
thought it.
she's the romantic interest.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
it like if this was a dating sim game, yeah, I think some of us would definitely be going for the Gangle route like all the time, just because she's that cute Hinata type, if that makes any sense. uh,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
obviously, it could be more apparent than when we saw them go through Untitled, where they're going through all the numerous suggestion box episodes, and we see the anime episode happen, and we're like, and how does she draw herself in that universe? But as a cute little like Usagi type, like a by shoujo girl. So
Oh.
although I gotta say, Jax does rock that uniform. I'm going, God damn, I want to stay in this episode more. And even Jericho Joe Kane's like, good thing we got out of it. We don't have the budget for the rest of this. Actually,
uh,
with the exper in fact, I think that's one of the episodes that really showcases the strength of this series is the Untitled episode where they go through suggestion boxes and they go through numerous zany things that could have been their own episode easily, but they were kind of sandwiched into this one big thing while Kane is doing the whole favorite character awards.
Yeah.
A, because it wasn't the point of the show.
No, no,
The
the
point of
favorite
the show.
character works with the guns.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. I guess what did I get out
But
of assuming
He just
that was
want,
it?
he just want, he wanted to do a lightning round just because everyone's got like so many suggestions and you just can't bounce it. It's like, you know what? Fuck it. Everyone gets to have a suggestion. We'll go to lightning round. If y'all don't want it, you can all vote to skip it
Oh yeah, the democracy.
and possibly change other people's preferences.
Vegan.
we could have done these
Democracy
all,
blows.
but we could have done these all
What
as
the
full episodes.
heck?
We
Who
don't
did
have the budget.
this? What the heck? Who did this?
But yeah.
You.
Be nicer to the dude.
Oh yeah. But oh my
Yeah.
god. So the thing about Gangle, I think we really get a good viewpoint into her is the fast food masquerade because you find out through later line she admits, yeah, I used to work in fast food, so that's probably Goose drawing back on experiences in the fast food industry, which you kind of saw that, and the whole having dreams and
Feel
aspirations
like
to having dreams and aspirations to try to make it as a creator. That's probably something that Goose had within themselves. So I guess Gangle represents that little creative spark that probably feels tangled by you know those are unrealistic, that can't happen type goals or barriers to get away. I guess that's what I mean. The scene I love with her the most, also from Fast Food Masquerade, is right after she has her breakdown, and then the Zubul says she'll, the Pomni says she'll close for her. She just takes off her mask and just starts dancing through the parking lot, which she should have looked both ways before tripping off of that curb. But but
Yeah.
I was so taken by that
That
sequence,
Yeah.
and then
I remember that.
I like to think
Aquarium, so-
every character of Goose works in every character.
oh yeah,
I remember first time I watched it that she I remember first time I watched it, I thought she purposely left herself off of the street, but if you watch it, it's clear that that was just a a mistake on her part.
she tripped. Yeah,
I
Yeah.
remember people had a theory, or at least this one guy I watched had a theory after watching that, which is that he thought that everyone in the circus had brain damage, and that was why they'd been scanned as like some sort of way to like save their lives. And yeah, I'll admit that I thought the truck symbolically was gonna mean something, but I don't know unless someone can explain it to me. I guess
I just had a thought.
I mean, I just think
Oh, go
I
on.
think it's very literal. I think I just think it's very literal. I think at one point Gangle had a near death experience where they were hit by a truck and almost died, and he still has trauma about it.
Oh, Derek, if I recall, didn't you almost have a crosswalk where a truck just gave you a scare once?
Crosswalk?
Erica?
No, I mean there was a time I remember that.
What?
Oh, okay. I could be remembering wrong, but yeah. Where like we're not getting hit, but almost like being in proximity of a big one, like just suddenly, just out of nowhere, going, kind of just giving everyone a near jump. Hmm. Anyway,
I
sorry, but
don't remember what you're talking about.
okay, yeah,
Me and my mom got rear-ended by an 18-wheeler.
ooh shit. But I was just going with. I just thought I had a thought now. What if?
The only truck incident I know of was literally just like this past Saturday where I was in a blind spot. I didn't see it. Thankfully, there's no touch or contact
Good.
that was made, but it was like on Jen's side, and I had a fucking freaking panic attack that something could have happened to her, and it was
Oh
just
yeah, I remember that. That's
Mm.
probably what I'm thinking of. My mistake. Oh, but I was just had a thought now. What her being an anime fan and this whole world almost being like an isekai. What if that was kind of meant to be a truck coon thing in her program into her simulation?
that could work. Makes sense.
I feel like that's too modern a reference for Kane to know. Like
that's
like
a bit messy.
But then he would be able to see the brain scans and maybe he'd understand that concept because he knew how to torture every single one of them, during the penultimate episode.
Uh-huh.
So I
but
kind of
also he still had to like log on to the internet to Google them to give them all the information about their real lives.
Right, right.
yeah. Right, okay.
Oh, speaking of which, I just realized
Yeah.
episode 9 totally negates that hilarious joke from the original merch launch drop. You made quite a splash on the internet. Something I canonically know nothing about. Well, so give it time. That's something I was saying. Give it time. So, anyway, but like I said,
Well, yeah, I mean, I
What the
when he
am I
connects to the
looking
internet,
at?
Mhm.
The
I think when he
consequences
connects
of
to the internet,
our actions.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's only going to get worse
worse
from
from
here.
here. Okay, so Jen.
I genuinely think that when he connects to the internet in the finale, it's the first time he has ever done that, and it's also the first time he is, as an AI, given new training data outside of the data that the humans have given him from their brains. I think he's very much still stuck with what he was given when CNA shut down, and
Uh,
up until he finally figured out how to connect to the internet in the finale.
mhm. So yeah, so I'm just going though. Gangle is cute. I'm sure some people might find her annoying, but I thought her voice work is great, and I love that the mask, the manic mask, is definitely the one I always laugh at the most when I see it. So when it made a reappearance again in the finale, I was laughing like. Speaking of which, I wanted to greet you all as saying hello, my gender freaky friends. Referencing that one line that
Hmm.
Jax makes, but yeah. Um, Anyway, so going off from Gangle, who popped into the circus next, main character wise?
Zubul.
Oh yay, Zubul! I do have a lot to say
Oh,
about them. They are,
The
uh,
official non-binary symbol character that everyone latches onto.
if Gangle is the
who's
little,
currently being used.
yeah, oh, sorry, if Gangle is the little sister of of this found family, then Zubul's definitely the rebellious punk teen type vibe, the one that's just so done with things.
Yeah.
The
But
family metaphor does kind of break down when it comes to Gangle and Zubul, though,
oh yeah, I kind of
because
oops, unless we're Alabama, but yeah.
No, she's just the. What if fair?
She's
Zubul was
rebellious
always like
next door
out
neighbor
of
who
the
falls
adventures
over
a
and
lot,
stuff.
so she wasn't. She, Zubul was out of the adventures a lot, so I guess she wasn't really in the group as a family per se. She's kind of just the next girl next,
Oh yeah,
the thing next door.
yeah.
the thing next door,
Okay, so you were
the
saying,
entity next.
Well, what would you describe them?
yeah. So you were
I
saying,
know.
Ian.
I mean,
It's
Oh,
look at them.
probably non-binary pronoun.
Yeah. So sorry, I said Zubal's the rebellious teenager who comes over sometimes.
yeah.
Just if we want to think of it.
It'd be like the one where the parents go,
I,
"Should we have them
I
over?" And the dad's like, "Oh, they're fine."
Yeah.
and the way I describe what Zubul looks like is like imagine if like the fucking I don't know what they're called the creator ants thing where you just kind of like build ants like different legs, different faces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you
The
just like
cootie bug?
putting like different what like the cootie bugs. Yeah, that's what.
I haven't thought of
Imagine
that
it's the
really.
cootie bugs, but then you just decided to just say fuck it and just add whatever pieces you could get, like maybe from Mr. Potato Head, Mr. Potato Head
There actually,
pieces here and there.
I believe there actually is an actual like toy from the 70s or 80s that was like a piece together type thing called Zoobies or something like that. So that's probably where the name comes from.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
what's funny though is that she's the most out there looking character, and she has like the most zero fucks given. And I think of the swear counter, she's the one that usually sets off the sensor the most of the time.
Yeah.
right down to
Yeah,
the point that the reason why they don't want to do the adventures is because their ultimate suggestion, the thing they want most is I want the ability to have
Oh yeah, she wants to do
yeah.
the because she. I guess
sex.
I'm guessing after the. Well, yeah, I believe that in I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, there is a character that has been repeatedly mutated to the point of being this. They went from a ravishing, flaming homosexual, brilliant scientist to this big, brutish, androgynous thing that can't really have a sexual drive no more. So I think that's the vibe with Zubul. I was listening to someone do a big analysis of how Digital Circus compares to I Have No Mouth, and there was some direct ones where even I'm going like, yeah, I can see that. But what's funny about Zubul though is
Yep.
it's just uh I know Alexis, she does get some creative uses of her detachable nature. Like during the They Got Guns episode, there's a great moment where she goes all General Grievous on her ass with guns, and oh goodness, that was a big whoa, I laughed moment.
Yeah.
So Jen, you had a thing to say
And
about
not only
Zubul?
that, but the big development you get out of the thing we get character development out of Zubul through their relationship with Gangle.
Mm-hmm.
But like they're the ones that are like giving openness, like they're helping Gangle feel not so isolated, not feel so bullied with Jax around, and eventually they just pretty much just they're inseparable. I can't have if I were to have the merch, if I were to buy Gangle, I'd have to buy Zubul immediately with them because I can't
Yeah,
buy one without the other.
Aw.
It's undone. It's like trying to get Kazuo without Wanda or the Espeon without Umbreon.
Or Latios without
You just
Latios.
need the pair.
Anyway,
yeah.
Exactly.
so Jen, you had a thought to say. It sounded like.
About Zubul,
Yeah.
honestly, not much. Like, I like Zubul and Gangle's like romance arc, but beyond like Zubul and Gangle always felt very like aside from Gangle's episode with the truck, it always felt like Zubul and Gangle, unlike a lot of the other characters, they both you kind of knew what you were getting with them. Like they were
Yeah.
very I don't want to say surface level, but because they're definitely not shallow characters. And Zubul's nature as the one who is like aside from possibly Jax, Zubul's nature is the one who's the most contrarian
Mm-hmm.
in the group definitely
Mhm.
affects the balance of the show. But at the same time, like I don't like it also they just kind of feel like they're like it's to the point where like I had I had before I remember how I said it before I got into the show I would mostly had heard about Digital Circus because of like content slop farm stuff.
Right.
None of that stuff has Gangle or Zubul in.
Hmm.
It's all Pomni, Tinger, or maybe it does now. I don't know. But all the stuff the characters I had seen before were Pomni, Kinger, uh, Jax, and Tang.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where I just assumed when I watched the pilot that Zubul and Gangle must get killed off like in the first handful of episodes or something.
Wow. Imagine that.
Which
Oof.
I'm thankful it didn't happen, but like it was just like, but they just, but it that the fact that they are not in a lot of that like representative content. And I'm not saying there's not good stuff with them, but it does feel kind of indicative about how secondary they feel.
Well, like I said,
I mean, Zubul is literally a fucking hammer in the Fortnite crossover.
on top of that,
Yeah,
like I said, I do say one part I love in episode 8 was when they realized how, yeah, we should probably abandon the idea of getting out there. Just the delivery of I have dreams and goals just really came from a place that just latched on to me like, wow. And then I like people do make comparisons between Zubul and the Gooseworks current avatar being that little triangular headpiece.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's something.
Mhm. And it says, okay, so wait, but Zubul. It's nice that we paired Gangle with Zubul because the show itself ended up hooking him up in a very funny oh my moment in the end credits as Ragatha walks by the room and hears something and goes, oh dear.
Someone posted a picture of the two of them as their human forms on the bench at the end of the bus, at the end waiting for the bus, and captioned it, "These two have no idea that digital copies of them are currently blowing each other's backs out."
That's great.
Yeah,
Okay.
now, girl.
All right. So, okay, we should probably are we getting close to the main girl herself?
I think we're
I think
at
no.
the three,
I,
unless we want to
I think
talk about Cosmo and Ribbon.
I
Right before Pomni, yeah.
Hmm.
I think we should just pull the band off and just talk about Jax.
Because Jax is so integral
Or do we
to
want to talk?
Pomni.
Yeah,
I mean, we're basically at the end. The biggest controversy it seems is that people didn't like the fact that Goose Chaos said, so the main characters of the show are actually Pomni and Jax.
Oh
And I was like, what?
yes.
who else did you think they were? Who did you think the main characters were?
Now, obviously, Pomni makes sense because that's like the most
Fucking
marketable.
Warsman, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, we all know the favorite character. The person we're all assuming would have been the great character. We ended up making an ass out of him.
uh,
Ask
Ass
Erica,
out of men.
assuming, yeah, assuming makes an ass out of you and Ming. And you got who was it? It was actually a famous YouTuber played the voice of of, of Ming, and people were saying, "Was that Markiplier?" And people have been replying back to it. You really should have assumed I was with Markiplier. Now we both look like fools. Oh, speaking of famous YouTuber cam, I want to get this out of the way now. I love Zach Hadel as the crappy CGI fish in the beach episode.
I love how he was the one.
Dude,
He
you
was the
ruined
one
it.
who
Ruined it.
he was the one who gave the warning. The like the theater
Please,
etiquette
no
warning
fucking
showcasing the showcase.
spoilers.
What's funny about that is that I hadn't seen episode 8 at that point, so we're watching the last act movie, and he says, normally Kane does things, but he's dead now, and then I'm all, I beg your pardon, and you're all, just ignore that.
I
Yeah.
said, "No, it's just a fish just talking bullshit. It's whatever. It's nothing."
Yeah, because he said, yeah, Kane does this normally, but he's dead now, and I don't want to die. And well, I have bad news for you, Fish, judging by the end credits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But people say it's so
But
But
funny
yeah,
that
let's talk about this.
this bastard.
Let's just talk about this damn purple rabbit. People
excuse me,
everywhere around seem to
that is
have
not
a
a
fucking
character
problem
that
with.
All right, so I'll go ahead and let you take the floor on Jax first, given that you do have the plush of the fella.
So, so when Jax was first introduced, they were just kind of like the o- obvious ashholist kind of like class clown, but like the type of guy that's not taking anything seriously. I mean, how could you take anything seriously when you're just freaking cartoon characters in a digital realm?
yeah,
And, like, even they point out many times, like, you know that this is real, right? Like, we're all just cartoon characters.
yeah,
And if you think like, oh, okay, well, it's like, oh, they're cartoons, but they're real parts of it. Oh no, the real people are actually real. It's like
yeah.
everything
They're
you
just
see here is literally animated in the cartoon style because I guess Kane thinks it's the easiest way to portray everyone. God, imagine if everyone was somehow turned into sock puppets. Actually, no, I take that back. I feel we're fucking robbed of having sock puppet Jackson Gangle.
Although,
Yeah.
I mean, you kind
Like,
of get
have it
those with
marionette like this fucking Muppet show.
we kind of get that with the
Oh no! Oh no! Yeah, you get there's like there's like merchandise shorts that they do with the cast
yeah,
voices as themselves, but they're obviously being puppeted by like people marketing their items and all that. It's kind of like the most not kind of thing, but there's oh my god, there's one where like a kooky Gangle is like telling Jackson to make a costume. Oh, you look so cute. Jackson goes to hell. Jack cuts to the rear and goes, "Oh no, she's right. Those motherfuckers were putting it in our faces months, years in
and
advance."
people still didn't believe it until Gooseworks actually said it on Twitter
oh yeah.
or Blue Sky.
So yeah, the thing about Jax, like you said though, is that he was meant to
So yeah,
be. Go
if
on.
it's not made apparent by why I got paired with it, Jax, yeah, Jax is transgender.
On
They're
top of that,
Yep.
they're a male at birth, but it's that they're more leaning to female. But of course, there's a lot of baggage with the family about like what it means to be a man and masculinity and like uh, separations.
Yeah.
It's there's a whole lot of bullshit, and it breaks my heart. I'm just gonna have Jen have a moment for because I had to learn this on a moment. If she's willing to lay out her dirty laundry a little bit, then I'll let
Hell
her.
yeah.
But I feel like she was going to anyways.
I'm fine saying it. It's Jax. When I was young and before I had come out, I was Jax. I was the exact same kind of person. I had the exact same kind of coping mechanisms. Not, I didn't have the trauma of thinking that I murdered my family and when my mom and my dad is still with us, but like I was very much the same kind of person. And I'm still working towards it. I'm still working past it. That's why I tend to get defensive of Jack online because it's like I mean, I got better. At least I think I have. And even if I'm not all the way better, it's like, yeah, there's a chance. That's also why I'm kind of mad that like out of everything that Gooseworks has said about the show after the finale, I am disappointed that one of the things that she chose to say was that abstraction is permanent and
Okay.
that the hope of
Well,
recovery was
well,
wishful thinking.
what she actually says that Jax can't turn back the way he was, but that's not to say that they can't change, which
Fair.
actually happened in that moment where the isn't she lovely moment. Why they're going white? That's literally Jax actually being reborn as their true like female personality.
Yeah,
Of course, we're
I did think I told you that in the
yanked away
theater that
before
I
we can
thought
see that.
that's
So
when
it's literally left to our mind of like how Jax would honestly become.
yeah. Now to get to the
I did
hit. Oh, go on.
when we were leaving the theater that I thought that that was going to that giant flash of white light was going to be Jax literally Doctor Who style regenerating into a femme presenting form.
Funny you made that Doctor Who comparison due to the last ever line we ever heard from the character.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, so we got to get on
They'll
10.
come back,
We got to get on 10.
but I, I, I would definitely say I feel there is the one moment where everyone felt like this really made a break for you before they revealed anything. The Jax crash out in episode 6, they all get guns, or as I just realized, it's actually an anagram for tag. So best guess Kane's version of tag involves people shooting each other until their lives go
Oh
out.
shit! I didn't. They all I, oh Jesus! I didn't see that until you pointed that out right now.
TAGG tag.
Mm-hmm.
It's obvious. I had just never thought about it before.
But yeah, but that whole bit when you did the whole, like, I
But
always
yeah,
make.
he had a huge crash out on Pomni after they were having a nice little friendship. They've been bonding pretty well throughout the entirety of the episode, but it seems that Jax is reliving a certain moment in their life with the benefit of hindsight, going back to watch it again.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
because you said it, I have to
Yeah,
quote it.
he put
You
his
know,
defenses
with the
back
benefit
up
of
to
hindsight. Anyway, but so yeah, I always made comparisons to Jax and Pomni in that episode to like the Joker and Harley Quinn, and that's the kind of vibe I got when they were really like into it. And then once he had the whole, she was still playing the game, but he was at this point going like, I guess those words opened up a door he wasn't willing to revisit again. And that's when he had the whole point. And there's people who, okay, they're thinking like, I think I'm gonna have problems with you, and now those problems get cemented during the big red or blue choice at the end of episode 7.
Yeah.
But to be fair, that whole situation turned out to be bunk considering that Kane played every single one of them like a fucking fiddle. Just to prove,
That
oh yay, everyone actually loves and want to stay with me.
And I love that Jax
I
realized I
totally
was right.
I totally get why Jax did that though. Like they're in like the digital circus characters, I think it's kind of implied that either because of the presence of Kane or just because of the nature of the digital circus itself, everyone is it's harder when you're in the circus to change as a person. Everyone feels a lot more I guess I shouldn't say that. It feels like it's easier to stagnate. It's easier to stay. And I think that's just because they are all brain scan file copies of people and not actual people. And it is harder to
No,
change a file than it is to change a person.
you're so on the mark, Chan, because well, they're all humans, but then they're turned into cartoon characters. So for them to feel like if they want to retain some semblance of, oh, I'm a real person, I'm a human, they'll just try to stay the same as they were when they got sapped in. Like
Yeah.
if they change for even 1 second, they'll think, "Wait, am I? Is this what abstracting is? Is this? Am I integrating into this? Am I gonna forget I'm even a human?"
Yeah. And that's why like the digital circus is and that's why Jax's story is so tragic because it's like literally one of the Jax's scan was made at the worst possible moment in their life that it possibly could have been made, and so Jax is just stuck there in that mental space, in that mental place for
Like one little
it, like
moment.
it,
Oh, go on.
and so it's like, yeah, I can totally understand why they are the way they are and why her interaction. I just call her by she her pronouns at this point. I don't like. I know a lot of people still like, oh, because the character is male for most of the show, and also because like, oh, it's not officially confirmed. And
Who
it's like, no,
says
I
it's
just
okay if you who says say that it's okay if you use he him pronouns referring to
well,
Jax?
I
Because
mean, yeah, because
that
it's a
was
fictional character.
how they were presenting for the most part. But I know.
Like one moment that I
So
think
yeah,
I just get that I like is during episode 8, I think, when Kinger's explaining the whole building the advanced AI and everything, and Jack's realizing something when he says, "I gotta go," just to go distract Kane. He has a moment where he just grabs the railing and starts having a freak out, thing. Oh my god, this is actually real. There's something about that that
yep,
just that he's starting to lose it. He's starting to go, as we like to call it in the Alien fandom. He's starting to go Private Hudson at the moment.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh god, now I want to see him yell out "Game over, man" at some point.
Game over, man.
But
And
yeah,
that, they should do that as a promo for Game Overs. It's Game Overs, man. Game Overs.
yeah. But anyway, so yeah, like I said, but the thing about Jax is that people say he's the bully, he's the abuser. But the thing is, a lot of us have either known a Jax or even been a Jax, as evident by some of the people here. And people are there's whole essays about why he got what he deserved, or why it shouldn't have been the focus, or why trauma doesn't excuse, like, no one's trying to make apologies or excuses for the character, but it those baggages does make for a compelling character. I remember when I was watching the series and those flashes of a real life road popped up, I'm going, huh, that kind of invited me in. So I was going to say, okay, show me what you got. So when the whole last episode turned into introspection, very, my weeb is showing, very Evangelion, instrumentality, analytical typeness, I was like really taking it like a.
I thought Evangelion.
In fact, when the tickets for sale were going on for this movie, I remember Goose laughing, saying, "I'm gonna laugh the fact that so many people are choosing to take their full family of kids and grandmothers to go see what's probably going to be the most fucked up thing they see," basically.
Yeah.
Hmm. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
okay, this might have been a subtle influence, maybe not even an overt influence, but it also feels very
Hey,
rolled out.
Jonesy.
Yeah.
so sorry. Let me mute. Or- okay, all right. It's nothing. Sorry.
Oh, no problem.
But if you were to actually, you could go ahead, Ian, if you want to talk about anything you had thoughts about Jax.
Uh, yeah. Well, I mean, I've been in the middle of conversations about this character. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Oh God, you're kind of freaking out.
Mhm.
Okay. Sorry about that. I mean, yeah. I got my. I don't know if you've been hearing him this whole time.
Oh
But,
yeah, I
yeah.
heard the cat.
Sorry,
Oh yeah. Okay, so
Aw.
all right, so all right, Ian, you had any like thoughts on Jax as a character from start to end?
yeah. I've been in the middle of
I
a lot of.
literally asked.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My
And
bad.
I've been in the middle of a lot of different. I mean, I've been watching a lot of videos talking about this character, and like, dissecting him, going through the whole, trauma doesn't, excuse the things that they do, and like, getting into like all these conversations about how he's a terrible person. And like, I mean, I'll admit, I never really, found him that funny. And I did kind of view him as like, he is kind of like,
Uh, I think did everyone freeze, or uh-oh.
menacing.
Oh, there you are. There.
Like,
I'm sorry. I think you froze for just a second. My bad.
oh,
Hmm.
it's okay.
Hmm.
basically he's a part of this group that is on the train, and like because Infinity Train is like it takes place on this gigantic train that's in the middle of like seemingly endless desert that like kids get taken to when it to like seemingly work out their problems, but it's not really clear if it always works. And with him, he's part of this group that I think is called the Apex, which basically is committed to like hurting these like creatures that exist on there called the Nulls. And the premise is that he's going on this journey with this woman who actually founded the Apex, and she's learning to like realize that the Nulls are human, or that they're not all bad, and she's growing positively as a person. But he, on the other hand, kind of sees the same thing she does, but he goes the opposite direction, even though it's implied that like he was perhaps capable of being redeemed, but he kind of ends on a tragic note. Well, he straight up dies, unlike Jax. He straight up gets killed at the end of it. And it's that same kind of character where it's like you understand that.
Uh-oh. Hmm.
Feel sorry.
Say anything extra about Jax. The reason why he acts the way he does is that the deep dark truth about the trans community is that a lot of people will obviously have this little niggling denial in their head. They'll just like clamp them down and say, "No, no, I'm not this. I have to just like man up or woman up or something. I have to just be as otherwise I feel like I'm weak or just feel like I'm just gonna be made fun of or laughed at, mocked. I can't be this thing. I have to just like bottle myself up and just make myself like obnoxious, loud, just and at a point the reason why Jax acts this way is that he is intentionally trying to get himself distance away because the real truth of abstraction is that it's the digital form of suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
suicide isn't usually something that you do with a public viewing. You have to do it
Yeah.
on your own, on your own terms, in complete solitude. And the way to do that is to be a complete jackass and push everyone away to the point where they like they won't care about if they're gone. But clearly, one person would, and of course, that leads us to Pomni.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that's the thing about Jax too, is that some people said they loved his decisions to not actually show it, because people who've actually had real life people they know and lost to that type of thing, uh, say that's the one day they're just gone like that. And people say, gosh, they never told us it was gonna get this bad, as Zubul said when she saw the abstracted Jax. And that one moment where he was gonna like
Yeah.
talk to her and then just forget it, you're like, oh, what could have been? Like,
Yeah.
it's just like when we watch Clone Wars. Now that we know that there's a few segments away from right before Anakin goes to see Palpatine, they have that hologram meeting where Mace Windu sends him off, and Yoda's all like, "More do you to say?" And you're like, "Just tell him. I'll tell him I see him in person, and we know that Order 66 is going to happen from that point on." So we're like, "Just tell him." Uh, but on top of that,
Yeah.
I find it funny that Evil Jax is basically Shinji Ikari. When you see him in the baseball, the polite guy, and Jax right away thought, I'm gonna kill this guy.
And he's frozen.
Hmm. But yeah, Evil Jax did get a recolor, being the Jax chain to the piano during the internal sequence. But yeah, but the funny thing about
You froze a little bit there.
my bad, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right. So Pomni, she is the face of the show. She is what people think of at the circus. She, like Kane said, her cute little sad clown face made an impression on the internet.
Yeah.
Like if
But
Apollo.
it's basically the nonsense, just having to just kind of get
Yeah.
brought along for the ride with where she wants it or not.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, and
And funny enough, she manages to adapt very quickly. I think after her incident with the manor and having uh
Yeah.
Kinger by her side, up to the end, kind of get. I think that's where, in my opinion, where things turn out because like she was able to handle work at Spudsy's like no sweat. Like yeah, you get the weird odd customers, but it's like customer service. What fucking
make sure you
job
don't
is it going
forget
to look like?
the soup
But
and
like,
sauce.
Yeah.
is that thing we sell?
Another
But yeah,
pomni,
for there on,
please.
she seems to be like pretty on level. She's able to keep keep on track.
Yeah, going for the overall show, there was this person who's a voice actor, and they say, I want to try to guess the character's voices just based off of personality description and design. And then they always get surprised when
Hmm.
they're way off the mark because they'll do like, oh, this character looks kind of cute. Maybe it's up in this register. And she'll go see it and say, wow, they're actually much more lower than I expected. And there'll be some where she's right on the money, but she made a joke saying one thing about these characters have such zany looks, but they have the most grounded personalities and voices that I think that's what makes them so endearing. There's like a dichotomy of that.
Yep.
It's almost kind of the way best way to describe it is basically like a voice chat in a LARP,
Oh goodness.
like a team up in a multiplayer game, and the audio is coming from like headphones like these that we're wearing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see it.
So but yeah, but she, like I said, she definitely goes through a character growth, and they don't like make her arc apparent. It just happens to the point when you get to her finally going from the timid, scared clown girl in episode one to the ready to make a stand for her friend that needs her at the very end. It's like we're like, whoa, where did this come from? But not in a very unearned way where she just now suddenly she's capable. It just happens and it progresses in a very natural way and quite beautiful actually. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think the funny thing is that Shaq's in tag was actually asking, like, pointing out that everyone's got like their own tropes or roles to play. Like, got the sad one, I got the happy-go-lucky one, I got the crazy one, grumpy one, the funny one, and then you are the one that happens to have, or just one that doesn't have
The one that hasn't.
doesn't have
Yeah.
a personality
Yeah.
picked out for. And Danny Myers says, it's like, yeah, that's usually called the main character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like, oh my god, I wonder if how many characters I just destroyed, and then having to figure out who's the main character of the group.
Yeah.
yeah, like
It's
I
like,
like
I thought I was the funny one.
Yeah.
but I'm just going like yeah like when people said Goose said that Pomni and Jackson are the main character, I'm surprised that they would be mad at the Pomni part given that Pomni was the first one we saw. She's on all the marketing, all the
Yeah.
ads. It makes sense that that'd be like getting mad that Luke Skywalker's the protagonist of A New Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Clearly, it was the C-3PO here.
Yeah.
No. We're all wrong. The main character of A New Hope is Darth Vader. We're just seeing his very bad day as he gets spun out of the Death Star.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah,
His management
yeah,
meeting. Okay,
yeah.
tangent. My bad. So, but yeah, but Pomni has more for her going than being cute. Like he says, she has that moments like where she does the pep talk that she probably learned from Kinger. That it really does help when she was talking to like Gangle and when she was talking to Jax and when Jax finally unloads on her. And then we should probably mention these characters now because we don't know where else to put them. Jax's former friend group of Kaufmo and Ribbit really helped him like feel like himself until he started getting paranoid about things, and then that push ended up happening, and I
And he,
guess
and he
I
just
wonder what this
continues
is
how
like.
like nothing. I think it's the sign we're gonna.
Okay. Right.
oh, what happened?
You.
You froze twice.
Yeah.
You guys were freezing on my end.
Oh well.
Yeah. Well,
Oh my
on our end,
god.
you were.
Oh goodness,
Yeah.
I am experiencing technical difficulties.
Fine.
Dude, just hang the phone up and call again.
Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna pop in, pop out. Yeah, that won't affect the stream. The stream should still go on as normal. So, hold on, let me just deep. And trying again. Okay, I'm back. I'm back.
Yes? Hello?
Okay, good. I hear you.
Uh,
You guys are all
You
coming
with us,
in loud
dude?
and clear.
Okay.
All right then. Hopefully nobody said any
Yeah.
insensitive words while I was away.
totally weren't plotting a takeover.
Oh no, I believe it's begun anyway. But so okay. Uh, but yeah, Pomni. I think that's going to be if anyone were to just pick their right away favorite character from the group, that probably would be the one. Design wise, she's rather simple but also very appealing in those bright colors, those expressions. Like all of her merchandise have her face just about in a distressed expression at some point.
I did
Yeah.
sport her red and blue colors as my bracelets for the premiere.
Oh,
Aw.
and then on top of
Yeah.
that, um,
Oh, you were an elf, Jen. You were there. I was
I know,
nearly
but
like
I'm
squeezing
still
your arm with it.
and she's
whenever
forever
you do something, I'm gonna go aw.
Yeah, and she's forever ingrained in meme culture for that hilarious bit from the end of a video for an ad read where a guy yells out, "I'm turning into Pomni," which anytime that picture shows up, you'll see that GIF pop up anytime someone mentions, "Hey, let's be Pomni." That y'all know the image if I mentioned that one.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
no idea what you're talking about.
Oh God, I prefer. Okay, I better not. I better not. You'll know it when you see it in other places, but yeah. So but yeah, well, like I said, the previous friend group of Kaufmo and Ribbit, there's no other place to put them. I think that's why he's scared of Pomni because he already opened up to someone that close, and those friends are now gone. So I'm sure when Pomni was trying to worm her way in, he's thinking, "It's happening again, isn't it?"
I did have a realization while we were watching it that Jax was doing his usual shtick of putting his walls up and like keeping Ribbit at arm's bay. Then the moment of the snowy summit adventure happened, and my theory is that during their argument, like Jax at a pivotal moment just literally pushed Ribbit with so much force, she nearly fell off the ledge, but he quickly grabbed her and pulled her in, which is why we see Jax is kind of like huddled to the ground,
Yeah,
and Ribbit's
that
kind of
tracks.
keeping her distance away. It's like Jax just realized like what he did, but it was enough to cause her to push away. And I feel like Jax was trying to like get things back to the way they were without coming off this week and apologizing that like he was trying to start up a fun conversation, seeing Ribbit coming up, but sees Ribbit walks away and he's just and then losing Ribbit that way just made him just have to put the walls up forever because like I I'm already gonna hurt a lot of people anyway, so what the hell?
and
That's
then
all I do, isn't it?
and then Kaufmo ended up getting obsessed with the look. I think I found a way out type thing to the point where you saw on his walls. Yeah, the way out ended up just destroying Kaufmo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have fun going crazy.
Yeah. Kind of reminded me of that scene, and I think it was Animatrix, like the one with like the film noir guy,
Oh
and like where he's
yeah.
that obsessed with the Red Queen. At least that's what I thought when I first saw it. Yeah.
And I was just thinking of no TV and no beer make Homer something something.
Go
Go
crazy.
crazy? Nope, mind if I
Go
do?
crazy. Oh, what did I do?
But yeah. Oh
Oh my
goodness.
god.
But the like I says, Ribbit. I love the design. Someone says I saw someone in the survey say it's so unfair that such a cute design is so underutilized in this show. But like, and I even saw some people calling Ribbit
Mhm.
nothing more than a plot device. But I'm going, nope. Ribbit has a place, and Pomni is kind of like Ribbit 2.0 for Jax, but he doesn't want to fumble again even harder, so he figures not open up at all. And Pomni annoyingly has a habit of trying to get into the walls. I think that's that whole abstraction sequence with the talking to the Jaxes and going through the different doors. I think that
Her
was her.
nightmare.
Yeah, that was her
Oh,
really trying to get into Jax's inner layer. So when he finally got to the end of by the lamppost, and he's like, "Well, now you just see what an awful person I am." And I remember him even yelling, "Why do you got to make this so hard?" When she's wanting to give him the hug and
you're
Mhm.
everything.
making it so hard.
Hmm. By the way, props to Michael
Just
Kovacs for
text me right now.
yeah, props to Michael
And then
Kovacs.
he just does the David Tennant. It's like, I don't want to go.
Yeah, props to him for giving the most soulful acting. I kind of feel annoyed at the internet in general for trying to like drag his name through the mud over innocuous things just because of the whole leaks and early things, and they figured I can't take it on Jax, let's take it on the actor. So I feel like, whew. But he kicked it out of the park with that last episode.
Mhm.
But yeah,
He-
Pomni is really, if Jax is what you do when you put each other away, I think Pomni's what happens when you really open yourself up. So I think they have two sides of the same coin if you think about it. Hmm.
I think looking back, I think for the most part before I transitioned, I was kind of more of Pomni, where I was just kind of like just kind of feeling like to myself, kind of closed off in like a big, loud, obnoxious world. But then sometimes you'll get some friends coming, but then there's this one ubiquitous force that just kind of like pushes you in a way that you just decide like, yeah, you know what, fuck it. Today I'm just going to be evil.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
It's
Kind of
it's
cringe
kind of
when,
cringe.
yeah. Oh, evil Pomni, by the way. So I like that. Evil Pomni's evil just because she swears more often. Sup, fuckers? I'm evil Pomni. I love the her. What the hell? I
And
didn't even
Evil
get the.
Jax is just, just found to say, "You shut up! I want you dead."
Yeah.
But yeah, well, going back to Jax real quick, the whole context clues that this is obvious even now that you know that they're trans. Watching back the episodes makes a lot more sense, especially the whole different reactions to every abstraction. And when you got to the Zubul abstraction, where Gangle's all, "Why are you wearing that?" I'm wearing it ironically, okay.
Yeah.
Sure, you are.
Totally.
Even the other Jaxes are all like,
Even the serious Jax are like, what? Why are you wearing that thing? I'm wearing it ironically. Just, just so it's
"Sure, I don't
just
care."
wearing
Yeah,
showing that I just don't care about it. It's like,
sure, Jan,
this
sure.
a lot of excuses you got there.
Right. So,
Mm.
theories about what was behind the very big door that was bolted up.
Oh, that is. I think I've read somewhere. That's actually his mindset of a scenario of what happens if Pomni has Jax.
Wow.
And I think at a point Jax just feels like he just cannot live with himself to even think about that. So that's why it's all locked up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would. I did laugh that his Zubul, his
It,
Gangle
it
one
is
was.
it's the one. Despite his protestation of like I'd move on and probably forget about you, which is a huge lie given that his fucking pupils are as white as say a fucking fire truck when he says that. I think in that scenario, Pomni would probably just been his last straw. He would actually just broken down
Wait,
all of his machismo attitude, all of his stuff. Showed it would show actually showed who she really was inside, and that's why the other Jacksons are just telling it to shut up.
oh, the girl, yeah. This is
Yeah.
a no girls club in here. They're all, shut up. Although okay, once again, my averness is showing there. The whole Ragatha abstracting and then Jax coming out of nowhere just to asphyxiate her, but say we can't really die of oxygen deprivation here. Okay, I did make the joke of, oh, I'm not gonna kill you. I just want to hurt you really, really bad. Okay, I gotta draw that picture I've been talking about. I gotta draw them doing the iconic Harley Quinn
I, I,
Joker dance.
I,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, now we should probably
but
talk about the Ringmaster.
obviously, I think are we going to talk about? See, I think Jen was waiting till we got to this point to talk spoileries
Okay, go ahead.
about Kane
There was a big
doing
thing that
his
you
like.
said that you had a big feeling about.
I think we should talk about like how fucking. I just remember we should probably talk about how fucking unhinged Kane gets when he just decides to go full am.
Oh
Oh,
yeah. I've always called that. It's obviously not quite the same thing, but I've always called that the moment when Kane abstract.
mhm.
Yes,
I remember there being theories that like that was how the show was gonna end. Kane was gonna abstract, but they kind of had the idea that like he'd be like the final boss, basically, or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I mean, when he did the whole Highlander "I am God" thing, and then he just like blinks back, and he turns back to normal. Like, let's get the show on the road. And I'm like, he's not okay, and he does a little like twitch glitch as he says it.
Yeah. It. Yeah.
And
Kane is.
Go ahead, Jen.
So is it time for my theory? I don't even know how much of a theory this is. So right before Kane like has his freak out, it's Bubble who is the one that is like pointing out all his insecurities, and
Antagonizing
that
him.
could just yeah, and that could just be because like Bubble is like connected to Kane's like inner monologue. But I always kind of thought that, especially since we see how Kane was like not born, but like so we see like he was created as an AI, fed all this
Forged, I
imagery.
guess. I guess it's a
Yeah,
better word. Forged.
yeah, and then and then they like he was just a prototype, so they made another model, which was like Kane was a red dot, this dot was blue. Uh, Kane ate the blue dot and then created the circus. And clearly, the blue is connected to Kane's anger, insecurity, and hatred. And that was being channeled through Bubble. And notice how in the finale, when Kane removes the blue dot from himself and lets it go into the void, uh, Bubble also disappears. That
hmm,
character is not in the is not in the episode
Yep.
at all. And to me, I think that is like confirmation, like, oh yeah, that is what that was. And now I'm just imagining Bubble off creating its own circus, and is it's just an identical copy of Kane, except for instead of the teeth with eyes, it's just Bubble, and the ringmaster outfit is blue.
oh, but I also like the bit with
Wait a minute. I just had a thought.
uh-huh.
Kane points out that he never told the moon to say that she loved him.
Yeah.
Is the moon the fucking positive aspect of the blue AI?
Hmm.
I don't. So
That could work.
I think
Yeah.
I think that
Oh
was
my
you
god.
could say that. I think that happening with the moon was just symbolizing how the program had been evolving and changing without Kane in ways that even he couldn't express, but is delighted by.
I still like the first time we meet it. I love you, Kane. Whoa, let's get inside before the moon has to get frisky. But oh yeah,
Mm.
I mean the thing is,
That the way oh god, if somebody even hears this, I think I might have just opened up the fucking Pandora's box of fucking theories.
but I will say though, I love that. I heard someone in a review say, "Damn it, Gooseworks, you actually made me care for AI. Stop making me care for AI." But the whole way Kane was portrayed.
That's why
It's like
I love
did a
that. Like,
version of sorry.
there's that comic where Kane makes a painting, and then I think it's like either Jax or Zubul is like,
Jax,
"Aren't you technically an AI?
you're
Doesn't
not
that make it
affiliated with me.
technically AI?" And he's just like, "You're not affiliated with me."
Yeah.
I remember someone did this video where like they had Pomni singing the song, running the show, and they're actually and the top comment actually did say, "Oh, good thing we're having this instead of AI crap," you know. And then someone in the comment section had to explain the joke, like, "Oh, because Kane's an AI, so that's technically an AI generated song." That's
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of Kane, though, like I said, he's like I said, the part where he started to actually feel bad. No, I like the part when he was trying to therapy session Zubul, and in the end, it turns into Zubul analyzing him, but he's not listening because of the way his programming is.
yeah.
Hey, check out this cool bee I
Pretend
drew.
we were having a therapy here.
And then
Mm-hmm.
I remember
Pretend we were having a therapy.
we felt a little bad when
Okay.
we felt bad during the character awards. Let's see how many votes I got, and then oh, that's when he started to crack a little.
Which is funny because if it was reflective of any actual polling, he would not have scored low.
Hmm. Oh yeah, but he's still with so much energy in his voice. I mean, I think his name is Alex Rochon. I believe he's the
I'm pretty sure I'm I'm pretty sure any of the votes that went to Kane were probably went to me.
Well, you really shouldn't have assumed you won. Now we both look foolish. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, but I love how they even point out how he's the one that's in charge of all the censor drafts. And he says, "This makes an ass out of you and me." Did Kane just say "bonk"? Did you literally make a whole guy for this bit? I mean, I'm sure people can see him and go, "Oh, quirky guy. He's just there to be funny, woo random." But he really is an evolving intelligence that didn't, like he says during his rant, "I didn't ask to be created." Like, I think that speaks volumes. And just that little look of fear in his face right before he blips out, you're like, "Oh." I remember thinking, that's how you end an episode when Zubal's all, "Holy shit," and they're like, "Oh crap, he's actually gone. There's no one to censor us."
Hmm.
You
Oh my
got,
god! And the theater erupted with the whole what? When the turn
Yeah.
show Kane like peering in the rest, seeing the rest of the crew.
but you all know my ass just from you know me. Ian, you know me. Derek, you know me. You could probably guess my favorite sequence. Almost no dialogue in the entire entire run of the series.
Yeah. Which would it have?
When he's chasing the door.
Yeah, something about that and that whole hit introspective of him going, "I turned them against me. I made them fear me," but then he said, "No, they're in the wrong." And no, just that whole bit was that introspection. Is this what I deserve? And again, I'm going like, shit. I really feel for the guy. And then he does the break through the firewall and learns the first new bit of information that's been fed to him since being abandoned. And people say he's kind of like a abandoned child due to the fact that CNA tried to shut him down and everything. And in his loneliness, he ended up making
Yeah.
these brain scans come to life to be his friend. That's what I mean. A moment I think that speaks to his character is when after Kinger sees his life abstract, we're running out of humans now. Don't you go abstracting on me? And he has this little like, seriously, like, please
Seriously.
don't go away. Like you're my reason for being, basically.
Hmm.
And also, like, Kane he had the chance to get what he wanted, to just be able to see this macroverse, to see the huge world. And you kind of see that where he's about to step through the door, but he just stays in the frame, just enough to peer into like a search engine, look for these brain scans that he has.
And another part that gets to me, he says he's creative. He could create anybody that does his every whim. He says, but was it not their free will that was so alluring to me? He just wants
Yeah.
friends. That's what's so thing. He just wants friends.
Yeah.
So it is kind of nice in the end when they kind of get him to be a part of the crew, even though they admit, you messed with us, you fucked with us. It's gonna be hard to trust you back, but we did kind of miss you. I mean, when you saw that montage of him actually being with them again, you kind of going like, he went from being this antagonistic force to being just one of them, which is a nice thing to see happen. Because they never presented Kane
Yeah.
as the overtly evil, psychotic bad guy the whole way through. He was just misguided, so you can't really call him the bad
He
guy.
didn't get a villain song though, so
Well, yeah.
Hmm.
Although, Cain and Abel, I'm being biblical. I'm all like, "Ha, I got what you were doing there."
Yeah. Part of why I
you're getting too
immediately
smart.
knew
Time
that
to delete.
yeah.
So,
Okay,
anyway, any
I
other
think we're
words?
about ready to wind down.
Yeah, my bad, my bad. But this
Yeah.
this actually was fun though. You can tell that this series did have an effect, and it's just kind of tragic that it's
It was,
a moment of triumph, but at the same time, it caused a lot of issues for some people that unwarranted in some cases. So it's like, hopefully, this doesn't become a cautionary tale for people to say why you shouldn't pursue. I think the fact that Goose got this together, managed to push us out there and get millions to have strong reactions, both negative or positive to it, I think is a testament that will probably outlive any controversy or anything like that, in my view.
yeah. I definitely
I
think
feel that Goose. I think Goose turned around and feel like obviously she's still gonna need a lot of time to fucking rest. She's going through
yeah.
her Sakurai hiatus, but needless
Sakurai
to
didn't
say, when
really
she
have
saw the premiere of people turning up, and actually, for the most part, I think keep it their word of keeping the spoilers to a minimum is where she went like, yeah, it actually was actually kind of fun. I would not recommend
Yeah,
it to anyone else, mind you, but it was fun.
Yeah.
yeah.
Jen?
Uh, sorry, I kind of spaced for a second. Are we just talking about Digital Circus as a whole? The
Yeah.
abstract,
We're
the
we're we're kind
I
of wrapping up our feelings.
yeah. Fair. I would say then the last thing I have to say, you can tell I'm getting a little sleepy. Sorry, is I one of the reasons I really like the finale is how open ended it feels. I think I said to Derica earlier, it feels less like a definitive conclusion and almost like the pilot for a sequel series. But we're not going to get anything like that. Like Gooseworks isn't going to make that. I mean, maybe if she has some really steep bills to pay at some point in the future. Uh, but uh, and I think that's I got when we finished seeing it in the theater, I got really existential about it, and I was like, we're witnessing the moment when a series is the power over the series is transferred to its fandom, and the architect of this universe stops being the creator and it becomes the individual fans. And from this moment forth, infinite branching possibilities stem from this one moment where anything could happen in this universe and it's all equally valid. And I sound like a supervillain when I say all that, but
I'm
it's
just
really
saying.
it felt in the
That's
moment.
literally what Kane for, wanted to do. That's literally what Kane wanted to do. It's like I
I'm giving it to
I
you.
the circus is gonna open up. I'm gonna keep all the worlds open. I want to make this. I'm giving it to you. That was
Yeah,
literally Goose telling the world like I put my heart and soul into this. Have fun with it.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't make that connection.
and I was gonna say though, with what you just said, I could definitely tell you're a Star Trek fan. I felt very Star Trek.
Like me talking about the end of a TV show as if I'm talking about the birth of a multiverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
I gotta check to
Um,
see if your ears are pointing. I gotta see if you're a Romulan or a Vulcan. Anyway,
Uh,
Ian,
oh, trust me, I've done it. I've done thorough research. Very
eh.
thorough research.
yeah.
oh my.
Yeah, definitely digital circus thing. Yeah, it's an interesting show to exist, given its humble origins and like how it's erupted the way it has, its popularity. It's definitely always going to be interesting for that. Definitely, it's inspired me on some levels, because like certain stories I want to tell are always kind of like stories where it's like we don't really know what happens, but maybe there's still hope, and for that I'm grateful. I'm grateful that's inspired so many people. I'm grateful that it inspired me. I mean, I actually, yeah. I guess maybe that's all I have to say, but still mostly positive feel.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
That's great. I again, my I keep going back to Evangelion to the point that during a long work week with no break vacation, I just had this whole scenario of what if a test run in the pilot's plugs connected to the Magi and a rogue AI just happened to pop in, and I just had a whole scenario made from that. I'm like of digital circusing the cast of the of Ava. And
I can say that.
yeah, and
Oh God.
I wanted to play against type of a who ended up where. In fact, half the run of that story would be, oh, is this actually this person? And they'll say a memory in the line, you realize, wait, is that person? And that kind of stuff. Like if I'm trying to give away something by having Gangle tell Zubo, I would never deserve to be loved, which I think Ian knows where that's going. Which would
Yeah.
be if the Jax dynamic stays the
Mm.
same, you know where that's going.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Anyway, but this thing was cute. It was quirky. It was fun running through the whole series. I kind of feel stupid for Game of Thrones doing it again, catching it just as it's ending. But as someone says, don't be sad that it ended. Be glad you were there to witness that kind of thing. And I thought, I mean,
Yeah.
I am getting tired of me clicking at this thing leading to 1,000 YouTube feeds about here's why this is a problem. Like in the shorts, like did you know that this happened and that happened in some negative relation to the fandom? And I'm saying water wet on that, but like for example, the bar that was the inspiration for Zubal's photos in the thing is actually going through a closure. So there's somehow someone says I literally had my eyes glazed over. Someone said when I saw a comment say they somehow blamed Goose for the bar closing, even though the owner wanted to close ahead of time, and they figured go ahead and use the photos from this thing. Or they say the
Yeah.
glitch
Yeah.
should have stepped in and done something for the bar. But I'm going, guys, it was a backdrop setting for a house. It's like what happened to the Breaking Bad house where they were throwing pizzas on the roof to the point where they had to ask him, please stop throwing pizzas on the roof just because it happened in the show. Just backdrop. But like I said, other than that though, I thankfully haven't run into none of the crazies of any fandom and everything because I just make friends with the ones who I know that are into it, and we throw things around. We share arts. Like I know, ever since the whole reveal from Goose, Derica was sending me so much people's takes on what they think trans Jacks would look like, and I kind of threw my own work into the fray with the thumbnail here. So I I did that mostly
Yeah.
for you.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Isn't but oh, also one last thing I almost forgot to mention during the whole Jack segment with the abstraction and the isn't she lovely? There's so many people that are trying to say maybe it's referring to Ribbit or to Pomni herself, and you can go that way, but no, I think that definitively that isn't she lovely referring to the one that never was,
It's literally showing more Jacks than it does of Pomni or Ribbit.
and
Yeah.
on top of that, Goose always
It's
confess.
the song is literally about the birth of a woman, for God's sakes.
On top of that,
Yep.
uh, Goose always admitted that Jax was the negative aspects of their coming to terms with themselves personified, and that's
Hmm.
the bad ending if they never got out of that type of thing. And you kind of
Yep.
you can take solace that even though Jack's abstracted, uh, that the real brain scan archetype is living their best life, no longer homeless, and actually probably starting to go on their own road of discovery of accepting themselves because they go to Zubal's bar. Wait, what? The
They
person
are hanging out at a queer-friendly bar, so
exactly. So you can take
I like
hope.
the headcanon.
Go on.
They didn't say, but I like the headcanon that the person that Leroy took a picture with where they were hiding their face is the real world
was
counterpart of
with
Ribbit.
Ribbit. Yeah,
Aww.
I thought that was her too.
But yeah, the yeah, like I said though, you could take solace thinking that while this brain scan unfortunately didn't make it through, that maybe there's a second chance for the one that did live in real life to make the better selves and actually have their happy ending. So I think that you can take bittersweet solace in that rather than thinking, oh, well, my favorite guys, because there's a lot of videos I run into where a lot of people are hoping. I was kind of hoping they'd find a way to unabstract them, please, because you can tell that for a character people reportedly hate, a lot of them were attached to the point where they felt like, no, wait, don't go.
I definitely think that is.
I
I Goose. I am as much a creator of this universe as she is, and I defy. I think there is a potential to heal them. I don't think it'll be like something like I liken it. If it was to be tackled in a story, I would want to see it as like the recovery from a drug addiction, almost like a long,
it's
extensive process, and maybe kind of like the gems in Steven Universe when they all get uncorrupted. Each one of them has like some aspect of themselves that still like kind of always bears the scars of abstraction.
Hmm, interesting.
yeah, that's that's what Goose inferred. It's like you can't undo this, but at the same time, it can actually be changed. So
Yeah.
it's good. It's just gonna take a lot of patience and a lot of time,
Well,
much like anyone who's going recovering from a near fatal dark moment in their lives
and
when they
and
got support.
Mhm.
and a friend in the server was like, "Oh, my heart!" when Glitch shared that cute little put picture of Pomni having a a sandwich with the abstracted monster in the tent. Like, oh, she still visits. And I did like that
Yeah,
serene
Yeah.
moment during the montage of like the three abstracted monsters we met, Kaufmo, Ribbit, and Jax are now reunited in a sort of harmonious way.
Yeah.
Hmm. Oh, but I do love how the end of the first episode, Pommy's having dinner and looking like, "Oh god, this is my life," to the end shot being the same thing, but she's now, "This is my home." That is such a sweet,
Hmm.
beautiful thing. I love witnessing that journey, so I'm glad you guys were able to stick around with me for this because, we had a lot of thoughts and feelings. Thankfully, most of it was positive. None of us really had anything that says, "This really pissed me off," because there really wasn't
I
any.
don't. I,
Yeah,
Oh, what was that? Mhm.
but we're
Okay,
good.
okay, okay. All
I
right. Okay,
I
but
didn't say anything. I was just gonna say anything.
okay, my goodness. Yeah, okay, but yeah. So this whole series, I think it's going to affect a lot of people, and even if hopefully there's a physical release or something of it, because the impermanence of anything digital, even YouTube, if something should happen to it, it makes me worried. Like when we lost Machinima, so hopefully people archive this sucker. But yeah, it's definitely. I think it was a worthwhile series, worthwhile creative endeavor, and I think that should hope for great things for the creator going forward. So, Goose, unlikely to listen to our long ass ramble, but if you do, thank you, and you do you. You got to keep, you know, yeah, I'm sure you have much more to tell. Don't let this little hurdle, permanently kneecap you. That's my advice. Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's about wraps it up.
Alrighty then. So okay, wrapping it up. I have my co-host Derek aka Dark Neon. I got a lovely guest Jen over here, and my best friend
Yeah.
Ian over here. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Any other last words?
No problem. Uh, just I am going to immediately fall asleep as soon as this is over. Wake me up when it's time to talk about Supergirl.
You got it. Okay. All right. Thank you, Dee. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Ian. Y'all take care.
Here.
You too.
Love you, Goose.
Everybody have a good night. See you at the next one.